Pepper. This is part of my Joan seed series. You know, I picked up these herb companion books at a yard sale last year or so. So I'm getting back to looking at some of them now. And this in here is talking about the different types of the beautiful mallow plants here and the different varieties. Now, we really don't think about it when we do. Now, this in here is called the marshmallow or the swamp rose mallow. It is right here is what this one looks like right here. Now that is your swamp rose or your marshmallow one. Now, all the mallow plants does have benefits. Now, the marshmallow is a European native plant and is naturalized all over Canada and the United States. And it often is found growing in neglected fields. Now, you know that thing kind of reminds you of a fake plant on it, but it's not. Now, uh, it's talking about it can do in enriched garden soil that new flowers are already forming on a fresh rotary leaves close to the ground while older stems are still producing blossoms so that the plant's in constant bloom from early summer to fall. Now, it says cut green leaves are soft and velvety. So, and it produces a musky fragrance to it. So I'm going to show this to you again. You can see this one right here. Here it is right there. Ain't that pretty? That is very pretty, isn't it? So now it the loose bell-like flowers clustered mainly into the top of the plant may be pure white, light pink, or soft rose color basically, and all distinctive veins with wavery edge, nearly translucent petals. So it means you can almost see through. Now, in the landscape, these mellow tones down in a combination with striking grays and silvery leaf herbs and things like that. Now, the seeds, so when the seeds have warmed, produce flowering plants by mid to late summer. The first season plants reseed generally a good thing because all perennial mellows are short lived. So they don't really live a very long time. So that is the basis on it. Now, to keep pure water dark ones, it's talking about you want to, basically kind of thin it out and decide which ones you want in that situation. Now, the holly mellow here is, or the satin rose one here, right here is a satin rose. Excuse me, I'm jumping on in some of this here. This in here is the satin rose one right here. Here's a picture of the satin rose. Ain't that pretty? It is real pretty. So, now you have satin rose. You have the holly mellow ones. And this one here is another picture of a satin rose right down here in the very, very corner right here. So, and then you have the high mellow ones. And here is a picture of the musk mellows right here. As I was telling you about right here is another picture here of the musk mellows. Now, it talks about the garden's choice. Here are some of the favorites among them. The mellowwort is called pink queen and satin rose, of course, and all of these other basic ones. So, and now I want to tell you, here's what it here. It's the mellow medicine. Here you go, right here. Now, this here is telling you right here is the medicine for it, the medical medicine here. This way you can freeze it and look at this more if you want to and write this information down. So I'm doing this kind of slow like so you can see this and freeze this and put it on pause if you want to write this overall information down. But it talks about the marshmallow. Now, the original source of the puffiness in the campfire confession of the same name is a perennial herb native to herb that grows in marshes, grounds, and on river banks. So, now, it is recognized as a medical and then all parts of the plants are edible. Ain't that something? Edible. You can eat that sucker. and have been used for food in time of famine. So when you flat out starving, honey child, you got something to eat on. Now, every part has been used medically, especially the roots, which are rich in, I cannot pronounce this word. I'm terribly sorry. I am dyslexic and I see words different, so I want to spell it to you. It's Mucilage. So I do mispronounce words, so I'd rather spell it to you again. It's Mucilage, mullish, something like that. It is the root that were originally used to create pillory, spongy texture of marshmallows. So this is where the original marshmallows came from the mallow plant. Ain't that something? That's something I did not know. So now achieved with egg white, gelatin, and other ingredients, but originally the mallow roots were what was used to create the marshmallows. Now this was probably the mallow to which the first century Roman naturalist was referred when he observed, whoever takes a spoonful of mallow will from that day be cured of all diseases that comes to him. Now, in a Greek physician back between 460 and 370 BC recommended marshmallow root for decongestion for bruises and wounds. The first century Greek physician used it in potpourri, powder, powder thing, like a paste deal for insect bites and toothaches. The soothing ingredient of that marshmallow that I was telling you, as well as other mellows, earns its regard among herbalists who use it today to relieve coughs and irritation, mucus membranes, and to ease stomach upsets and urinary disorder. Now, it also is a old-fashioned cottage garden flower and has a medical plant. Now the marshmallow grows to 5 feet or taller and blooms in the summer. Its lax stems bear distinctive rubbery gray-green leaves and groups of attractive 1.5 inches wide, 5 petals like pink flowers and showy certain situation. And it's soothing. It also has a soothing beeswax oil. And what that is for fresh leaves, the mallow or the marshmallow one, steep in hot water, maybe dab on this bee stings. So, soothing bee sting lotion. I was pronouncing it wrong, but you can dab it on bee sting or steep a handful of leaves in a jar of rubbing alcohol for 2 to 3 weeks. Dab the green leaves on stings. So what you're doing is you're taking the leaves out of the alcohol, you grate it a little bit, and then you put that very leaf that's been soaking in alcohol right on the stings to help pull out the infection and things in that area. Now, there is just constantly many varieties. This in here is the swamp mallow one right here, as you can see. Do your research on this here. There's some, the Perry hollyhock is another one here. And then there's, in this book here also is recipes here. I'm just going to hold it up to you here for real quick. And then here is one recipe right here. Let me back it up a little bit for you to see. You can see this recipe right here. You can put it on pause and write this recipe down for you. Then there is one called Mellow Pie. Now this one is, let me make sure I get it in here for you. Let's see, there's the Mellow Pie recipe. We're going to raise it up so you can see it a little bit better. There you go. There's the Mellow Pie recipe. We're going to ease it back so you can put it on pause and look at that. But I want to read the ingredients off to you real quick so you can do it. Now, the fruit soup with mellows serves 4. Now, it's a richly flavored cold soup, and it's refreshing to begin or end a meal on a hot summer day. Now, this is 4 cups ripe raspberries, 4 cups of ripe red currants, handful of fresh flowers of high, mellow, or its varieties, 4 cups of cold water, 1/3 a cup of cornstarch, 1/2 a cup of cold water, 1/2 cup sugar, and whipped cream for garnishment, and whole fresh flowers for garnishment. It says in a large pot, combine the raspberries, the currants, the mallow flowers, and water. Bring to a boil over high heat. Then reduce the heat to low and simmer 5 minutes or until the fruit is tender. Mash the berries and flowers and stems, reserving the juice. In a cup, dissolve the cornstarch in 1½ cups of cold water. Stir the sugar into the juice. Bring the mixture to a boil and stir in the dissolved cornstarch. Simmer the soup over low heat, stirring constantly until it is thickened. Pour it into individual custard cups and chill. Top each serving with whipped cream and a fresh mallow flower. Now, this is adapted from this book. It's called The Old-Fashioned Fruit Garden. So look for that. The Old-Fashioned Fruit Garden is what this one was adapted from. Now, the mallow pie makes 1 9-inch pie. The dough is 1½ cups of unbleached flour, salt to taste, 6 tablespoons of chilled butter or margarine cut in small pieces, 1/2 cup of yogurt. The filling is 1 cup of cooked mallow greens, about 1 quart of fresh mallow leaves is what it is. 5 ounces cheese of your choice, 2 or 3 kinds, one of them unsalted, grated. 4 eggs, well beaten. 1/2 cup of flour, or more as needed to blend ingredients. 2 to 3 tablespoons of powdered mushroom soup mix. Black pepper to taste, and garlic pepper to taste. So here's what you do. You preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit in a medium bowl. Combine the flour and salt with a pastry blender or 2 knives. Cut in the butter until the mixture begins to resemble coarse meal. Add the yogurt and stir just until the dough holds together. Divide the dough into 2 parts and form them into balls. For the bottom crust, roll out the dough into an 11-inch circle and fit it into a 9-inch pie plate. In a medium bowl, combine the filling ingredients, spread them into the bottom crust, roll out the second ball of the dough into an 11-inch circle and fit it over the filling. Crimp the edges, cut several vents in the top, and bake about 40 minutes or until the top is golden and the filling is set. Serve hot or at room temperature. So, again, this in here is the other one was in the Old-Fashioned Fruit Garden 1989 edition. This one here is the Heirloom Garden, a 1992 edition is what this one is. So this here is just some wonderful, delightful recipes, and I'll check them out here. Again, this here is talk about the different types of mallow plants, the medical benefits of them, as well as some of the recipes you can use to consume these plants in a situation, or you just simply want to try to be more natural, more healthy on your eating, and get more back to basics. This here is a wonderful article, and I love these recipes, and hopefully someday I may get a chance to try these. So again, this is the live prepper here, and don't forget to look at this again. I'm going to give you another chance to look at this again. Hopefully I've got it where you can read it, and pour this up. And pause the recipes on it. This is just really something wonderful. And I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all.